Welcome back to the homestead. Not ours, but somebody else's. We're here at the Virginia Museum of the Civil War today, and we're going to take a walk through the museum as well as the farm that's down here. This is the site of one of the larger battles of the Civil War.
So we're going to go ahead and go up to the museum first. Give you guys a bit of a tour through there if we can. The museum is up on the hill up there. You can just see it. It's the kind of the cone-shaped building to the left of the barn. So we're going to go up there and then we'll bring you back and we'll show you around down here. So give us a second while we trek up across the grass and we'll be right back.
We stayed at the Antietam KOA on our last trip.
So we stayed near this on our last trip to Tennessee. Stained glass is really cool. Not sure how well it shows up on camera.
There's a lot of really neat details to it. Like there's the eagle. And the seal of Virginia. And quite a few names that one might recognize, like Private Thomas Jefferson.
Alright, we're going to finish looking around in here, and then we're going to take you over to the farmhouse, so we'll bring you right back. So we're down at the farmhouse. We're going to wander around, going to give you a bit of a tour. It's kind of an outdoor oven, kind of like something we do today for a pizza oven almost. A lot of outbuildings. I don't know what's open and what's not, but we're going to go ahead and poke around and see what it says.
Left to open the store.
Of course, in the day, Highway 81 didn't go through there, so.
Neat old house. It's interesting to see how few upgrades they've actually done in the house. There's a couple of spots where you can see that they've added some light switches, but it seems like they've left a lot of it without any fixtures in the rooms. So similar to what it would have been when it was built in the 1800s, or when it was in an active battlefield in the 1800s. Pretty neat. So that's an old weaving loom, and we saw a spinning wheel in the upstairs of the farmhouse, and there's some carded wool sitting there. So this would have been, sorry, Ryan wants to say something.
Oh no, I was gonna say this also would have been what it looks like where they hung their meat.
Yeah. Yeah, old house.
After you.
House.
Yep, all the roosting bars, nesting boxes. Pretty cool.
Pretty similar to a modern day chicken house, really. Some things just don't change.
Guessing a root cellar.
Yeah, I don't know wood cellar. There's this tub over here, which is interesting.
And you can walk all of this. I guess this would be the battlefield out here. Well, you can walk out to the trees and get a little bit of video of it.
Every year, as part of their historical preservation, they do a battle reenactment at this field. We're obviously here the wrong time of year for that, but that might be something that it would be really neat to come back and watch them do, because so much history in this area. The barn that you're going to see up over there is one of the only ones that wasn't burned in the area. A lot of them were burned during this battle.
It's worth noting too, up at the main museum, there is parking for RVs and buses. I think there's like 5 or 6 spots. Pretty good, easy access. So if you've got a 30-ish foot tag along or fifth wheel, you're gonna have no problem getting in here and parking if you want. So if you just want to stop in on your way by, if you're not camping nearby or something, they do have access for that. They're very accommodating for that. I think we'll go back in through and look at these buildings, and then we'll walk up and look at the barn.
We are certainly in the off season. So far we've been the only people really that we've seen here today. There was one other group up at the museum, but we pretty much have the place to ourselves. When we did our cave tour yesterday, we were the only ones on the tour. So there are some advantages to coming in the slow season.
So here you got a woodshed. We'll take a look at that. So one could imagine, you know, they kept all their wood in here and did some work.
This one's really cool.
It's a big fireplace. We're gonna have Sue go over and stand by that just for a size reference. Because we know Sue is 7 feet tall, so. No, all kidding aside, that's about a solid 5 foot tall fireplace.
Yeah, I'm 5'4".
Yeah, so it's 4.5 feet, but it's a big fireplace. Of course, you had your wood right out here, easy access. And then there's these little stairs that go up into a loft.
Neat little cabin.
All the old boards. They've done a good job maintaining and keeping things together for people to view. You can see they've been doing some preservation work on the fence here. Obviously some newer pieces put in. Doubtful that much of this fence is original from, you know, the 1800s, but some of it I suppose could be.
Some pretty old looking timbers in
there
places.
is, yeah.
Like right there, there's one.
There is.
Pretty. I don't know if we'll be able to go inside this barn at all or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So far it looks pretty locked up, but we'll check around back and see if there's an opening that we're allowed to go into.
It does look locked up. We'll see if we can't stick you guys through a couple holes here and there just in case we don't get access to it.
Looks like that's where they're storing a lot of the restoration supplies. that last day.
And there's a better shot of the museum over there behind Sue. Yeah, I'm gonna guess the barn is not necessarily open to the public, or at least not this time of year. It's definitely a cool old barn.
It's a big sliding door right there.
And you see this got roads you can walk on, and you can see the cannons up on the hill up there. We're probably not going to walk that far today.
No, but one of the neat things about this exhibit is when you buy your ticket, it's actually good for a week. So if you want to come back at a later time and do a little more walking around because you're running low on time or you just really enjoyed it, then you can do that, and it isn't an additional charge. It was $10 per person to get into the museum and the grounds down here.
So let's walk down and check out those buildings down there. All the old hardware.
It's beautiful. You don't see stuff like that anymore. Old wagon. Looks like it's been sitting a couple years.
Yep. Traffic cones probably are not period correct. But you could imagine a local blacksmith probably making some of this stuff. Another shot of the house from this side.
Push the button and find out. I guess the button doesn't do anything. But pretty neat. You have what would have been a period correct saddle. It's very interesting as a horse person to note how narrow the trees were on the saddles back in these days. And I can only assume that it's because the horses had a slightly different build on average. They had maybe a more thoroughbred type build rather than what we now know as the American quarter horse, which we've bred to be a stouter, broader horse. But very, very narrow tree on that saddle.
So really interesting. Some cool stuff. An old jack, you know, just all sorts of old woodworking tools, some wagon wheels. You kind of imagine the amount of work that probably happened in this building in its lifetime. They do have it so you can walk under the interstate and get to the other side. I think that's just more battleground over there. We're probably going to check this building out, wrap this video up for you guys, and we're probably going to poke around a little bit more. Because if we see anything interesting, we'll take pictures and we'll leave them at the end of the video for you.
There's the blacksmith shop.
Ah, yep.
That one doesn't work either.
You got the snake skin over there on top of the
That's
horseshoes.
a really big snake.
You see the billows over there on the side of the firebox.
I guess I didn't really realize there were snakes that big right around here. That's a lot of snake. That thing looks about that big around and like longer than I am tall. So I don't know about that.
Alright guys, I think we're going to wrap this video up here. We're going to keep poking around. We're going to go check out a covered bridge next. We'll bring you back. That'll be a whole nother video. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.